Hello and welcome to this week's Dear Love Talk. It's a pleasure to be here with you. The doctors are now in session.
And the whip is ready, should we need to use it.
We might need to use the whip today. Okay, the first question comes from a viewer that wrote to us from America. Hello to everyone who usually watches us from America. He says, I got divorced 1 year ago and am now over my 30s. I'm trying to get my life back together but feel that time is against me, and this is sometimes quite overwhelming. I'm not sure of where to start. I'm going back to study to better myself financially. I have confidence issues and don't even know where to begin with my love life. Everything is a little too much. What do I do? You know, a divorce takes a lot out of a person. And sometimes trying to get your life back together can be very daunting, very overwhelming. But usually there is this technique that a lot of people talk about when there's a large undertaking ahead of us, is to try to break it down into small pieces. So you've mentioned a few things there. I mean, perhaps because the divorce is so recent, the part of where you said, I don't even know what to do with my love life, maybe that part could be on hold just a little bit. Because you will need to work on those two parts you mentioned, which is your confidence. Certainly a divorce sometimes damages our confidence, and your finances. So once those two sides are more established, then you are going to be in a better position to think about your love life. 1 year after divorce is quite recent. You don't need to rush. Don't be overwhelmed. Just take a step at a time. Try to break it down into segments and go one step at a time.
I agree with my husband. I mean, make the most of this time, and there's nothing wrong with you being the age you are, and there is no rush, because if you rush, chances are you're going to make the same mistakes as you did before.
Absolutely.
And a good thing to do after you go through a divorce is for you to learn from your mistakes. I'm not saying that you were the cause of that divorce, but surely there are things you can take with you and learn from them and do different next time and choose your partner in better next time, or whatever it is better next time. So I believe in that. I believe that you need to take some time off for yourself, not to rush and find someone else to replace the other person.
And the final thing is, in all these things you're going to be doing to try to get your life back on track, enjoy that journey. You're going to be able to, see things from a different perspective. You're single.
Go traveling.
For all intents and purposes. If you can travel, although you said you're going to go back to school, traveling in school sometimes don't
travel
measure.
Within the country.
Exactly.
Do something different.
But, enjoy the fact that you are rebuilding yourself. It can be a very enjoyable experience.
I agree.
Okay?
And the next question is from someone who wanted to remain anonymous, and it says, I have been married for 12 years and I have had enough of putting up with my husband. I have to constantly bite my tongue even when he makes stupid decisions, but I just have had enough of being the good wife. I have decided that our marriage is not worth it, even though he thinks it is. Perhaps this is not a question, but just a way of unburdening my pain for all the waste years I have had with this man. All right, so, okay, so first of all...
I'm not sure how much of a good wife she is. She said, oh, the good wife. But the way she speaks about her husband is very...
I tell you something. Do you think that the whip...
Let's get the whip out.
All right, are you ready?
3, 2, 1.
You asked for it. I'll tell you why. No matter what your situation may be, you are married to a man. Of course, you're not talking about physical abuse or any kind of abuse here, but he's just a man that you're not happy with for some reason. And I think it's unfair that you talk about a human being the way you're doing, especially that he's your husband. So that already shows me a tremendous lack of respect. And maybe that's why you're having problems with him. And I am so sorry. I don't mean to be harsh or anything, but I want you to think about this. We are very different, my husband and I. We are very different, but we agree to disagree many times, and we agree that we are different, and that's it. So just the way you spoke about him is not okay.
Yeah, and we don't know what's wrong, because the thing is, there was not even one specific mention of why he's that bad. I mean,
well, he makes stupid decisions, apparently.
Yeah, what you said is that he makes stupid decisions, and that's an indirect way of calling him stupid. And you've addressed him as this man, I've had enough of this man. And you know, you could be having a lot of differences, like Elena said, a lot of problems. But even the way you address him is very disrespectful. And I don't know if your marriage is over or not over. I have no idea. You didn't tell us. There's one thing I do know, is that perhaps if you were to respect him a little bit more, if you were to see him in a different way, in a different light, perhaps this marriage could be very different.
Yes.
So maybe try to have a little drop of respect for him, and you'll see the wonder that it can do for your marriage.
Exactly. I was going to say, I don't know if you've done this, but I suggest that you talk to him and ask him, darling, how can I help you as a wife?
And maybe apologize.
Exactly. Maybe all he wants is that you help him. Maybe he's an indecisive kind of person. And you are calling him stupid because he doesn't make good decisions. So perhaps you need to ask him, what do you want me to do? How can I help you, husband? And this is how it works. This is called a marriage.
That's right. Let's go to the final question for today. It comes from James Soprano. I hope I'm saying this word correct, your surname correctly. It says, I love my parents and respect them very much. As I'm 24 years old, they want to match me up with someone so I can get married soon. They have chosen a young girl, and I've tried to get our families together to see if we could hit it off. But even though I don't see her as my future wife, they are pressurizing me a little bit. This kind of arranged marriage is very common in my culture, but I don't know how to deal with this without hurting my parents. Well, you know, I don't think there's a need for a whip here, because I think the intentions of your parents are good. What happens a lot of times when families, for example, immigrate to other countries and build a life there, and children are born or raised in that country, then there is this little clash of cultures. And your parents, they love you. Surely what they're trying to do is because they love you and want the best for you. Does it mean that it's the right thing to do? Probably not. So I think the best way is always to be honest. And you cannot feel disrespected if you are honest. So if you go to your parents and say, look, I appreciate what you're trying to do for me, but I'm only 24, I'm not 64, I'm 24. And I have plenty of time to find someone and to choose the person for myself. Please understand that your opinion matters, and I'm glad you're trying to help me, but this is not the way that I want to build my future marriage. And if you say that, I'm not expecting them to accept it straight away, but if you're honest and sincere, eventually they will accept it. Don't be afraid of hurting them. If you do it with sincerity, with love, they won't be hurt.
And it's all in the way of how you speak, your tone of voice, you know, you choosing the right time, and you actually explaining to your parents that this is very important, okay, that you use the word respect. Mom, Dad, I respect you very much. And I know this is how it's done, or it used to be done back in your day, and perhaps even now, but I want something else for my life, or at least let me get to know this person first and be friends with this person and see where we go from here. But the thing is, you said in your last words of your email, you don't want to hurt your parents, but you can choose to not hurt them and hurt yourself.
That's right.
Or the other way around. I mean, there's no way you can always please everybody, but I do think that there is a way of you saying it that will not hurt them that much.
That's right. We hope that today's advice has been helpful. Don't forget, you can send us your questions directly on our Facebook page. Go to our Facebook page, drop us a message there. Usually we always reply to the message straight away, and then we reply here in the program as well, so we can help other people. And if you want to send us your questions to our email address, you can do that as well, to questions@lovetalkshow.tv. Until next time, bye-bye.